Coming at you with some more Dwarf Fortress. Gonna be continuing where we last left off. God knows it's been too long here. I've honestly had a incredibly busy long weekend to the point where honestly it doesn't even feel like it's Wednesday. It really doesn't. Like, it's just been a weird week for me in that, so much time has gone by and yet it doesn't necessarily feel like so much time has gone by. That's why I was like, man, I really need to freaking get back and do some more Dwarf Fortress. I've been slacking. I need to get her going here. Oh boy. All right. Let's go ahead and get this little wall finished up here. And let's go ahead. And we're going to do a lot of flooring today, that's for sure. There's a lot of... I'm really hoping to get the final... Oh, I see we can't reach that because of this. That's fine. And then likewise, actually, we can't reach the rest of this here yet because we don't have a connecting block, which I'm going to go ahead and put down there now. Let me go ahead and fill in the little doorways here. Likewise, let's go ahead and connect that up there. I'm just going to go ahead and... Actually, I probably should just stretch this out here. There's like no point in half-assing this section. I might as well just stretch out the whole thing. There we go. Nice. Alright. It's hard to tell at times if there's a gap or not. Let's go ahead and roof in this whole corridor. Get each of the individual kind of doors just filled in there quickly. Because I can. No access, obviously. Okay, let's go down. So we're going to start filling in all of the little gaps right here. Always having an issue figuring out what's a hole in the floor and what's not. There we go. Actually, I can cancel some of these anyway because there's a wall stretching across here. Alright, same thing for the other side. We'll stretch that across. We will go up here, 3 tiles, bam. Same thing for the opposite side. And now we can begin flooring that in. And I guess the siltstone is running low, so now it's getting dragged down here. This is all open space. Let's go ahead and floor that in. Good. Alright, this whole thing is basically an empty... Well, then again, we haven't actually filled in the floor with any of the... Not the floor, but the buildings underneath here, so I'm not going to go too crazy there yet. Speaking of which, we should probably get all of these kind of established here with what I have left for materials. And it disappeared further. Whoa. There we go. Get all of those. It's like 4 scroll and done. 4 scroll and done. Still have to get the initial kind of entry section done there before I can finish that off. Likewise, I should probably patch the rest of kind of the hallway there so that that's dealt with. But either way, this is honestly not going to take my dwarves long to build. Like, they're going to be able to zip through this in no time. So I'm going to have to make sure that we have a lot of my miners kind of doing what they need to do there to... Actually, you know what? Let's just do it like this. There we go. That's slightly, ever so slightly faster. Okay. All... Whoops. Don't know why I floored that bit in, but whatever. Apparently I did. Although that might actually also be... Yeah, that's the wall from the previous... That's why. I was like, why would I floor that in? But no, it's the wall from the previous floor. Okay. That makes sense now. So we'll get this entire section designated out. I'll get all the walls done, and then we'll kind of start filling in the gaps. That way, basically this whole floor is done at that point, and then I won't have to worry. And we'll be good to go with basically completing the final floor, which should be exciting to finally get done. Actually, I should experiment with that here while I'm at it. Oops, and of course. I had to build the wrong damn thing. Oh my god, how did I mess that up again? Oh boy. I just started and I'm already going crazy here apparently. Please do not mess that up a third time. I would be incredibly embarrassed if I managed to screw that up for a third time. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot to check. Apparently some of my other new emotes finally got approved. Hey, Durden, how you doing, mate? Still scared to jump into my first fort. I bought the game, but I'm scared. You can do it. Honestly, even following, like, the new tutorial is good to get you started. It's not enough to really, you know... It doesn't fully explain a lot of the intricacies, but still, it's enough to get you started. But the main stuff is pretty simple for the most part. Like, they've, like, very much so simplified a lot of things. First committed fort, Taki. Welcome, Zaki. Go. Oh boy, we're getting there. I still have to go back and remove all the centerpieces so we're not flooring that in unnecessarily. Siltstone blocks. Siltstone blocks. There we go. But honestly, it's like this has probably been the most almost user-friendly version of the game that's been released, I would say. Need the barrels and a squad and mushrooms. Well, the one tip that I will say that the game does not explain to you, and it's something that honestly they messed up a little bit when it came to their tutorial by not telling you this, or at the very minimum by not disabling this by default, is that if you go into the main kind of like options menu here, under labor and the kitchen, You 100% want to make sure when you first start that you disable cooking for plump helmets. Like, it'll be on by default, and you want to disable that. Because if your dwarves are not brewing plump helmets, you will not get the seeds for it. If they're cooking with it, you will not get the seeds. So you 100% want to disable that, and that is one of the things that they do not explain in the tutorial that they honestly really should have. Because that is honestly probably actually, I know for a fact because one of the people I play stuff with on a regular basis, on their first couple of forts, they died of starvation and or not being able to access water, and that was one of the main reasons, was that they were basically cooking all of their plump helmets and they had no idea, so they ended up, losing everything. Well, not losing everything, but still. The majority of their fort would just die because they could not have any. They did not produce any more food. Yep, that is 100% why you were always running out of plump helmets, is because they do not tell you to disable that, and it is not disabled by default. So you eventually, like right now, if I go into my stocks, please wait while it takes 10 minutes to load my stocks. Here we go. So if I go down to my seeds now, because I chose, obviously we have an insane amount of plump or pigtail, but I have over 200 plump helmet seeds ready to go. And if I go into probably plants here, I have 176 plump helmets. So because I have such a mass amount of them, I can either just keep producing a lot of booze, or I could at this point choose, once you have over 100 seeds and 100 plump helmets, then you can basically enable it and allow them to cook with it. But before that, you do not want them to cook your plump helmets, because that will completely screw you over for seeds. Which is, as one would imagine, quite annoying. Okay. We're gonna have to go like this. Now we're pretty much running dry here. Okay, now becomes the fun part here. No, that's exactly how it's going to be. Because again, the other sectional wall is here. Honestly, at this point, why don't I just... No, because that's going to cost more than I actually possess, that's why. Okay, so we're just going to do... We're going to do the basic kind of section of this, and this is going to have to be good enough for now. We'll finish off the rest later, when we actually get enough blocks here. Because, yeah, we do not have enough blocks to finish this at the moment. Okay, now let's go back and start canceling all the ones that we need to. Which would be all these guys right here. And then we'll come back and cancel this removal designation. And then cancel. And actually, this one I could just go like this, because the eraser does not affect the kind of just plain designations here. It only affects all of the kind of tasks ongoing. I wonder if you could plant them outside and they'd start growing randomly for the plump helmets, or for... Because with plump helmets, they have to be kind of built inside of a cave, unfortunately. So you do have to kind of build them around that. But there are a bunch of like above ground crops that you can acquire seeds for. I actually have a lot of seeds for those as well. I just haven't actually bothered to create any above ground farms as of yet. And then, of course, we will quickly Done, done, done. And actually, I want to try something here with this guy. Oops. What if I go like this? Because it's probably going to... Yeah, so... It's doable. It is doable. Because I would just have to go... Oh, no, it's not gonna... Never mind. That's not doable. I had hoped it was going to do 4 here, and then 1 in each of the corners and not erase the other, like, designations I'd put in. Kind of like what it does with this, where it only says, hey, you already have 2 here, so you can only build 2 more to kind of fill this gap. But no, it actually replaced the whole thing, which was annoying. I wonder if one could add conditions whether something is cookable or not. Don't cook unless... yeah, to a point you can. To a point you can. Let me go in here, like, say... let's go with a lavish meal. Okay, let's scroll down. Go into here. So we're going to add a condition. Oops, no, that's the wrong one. I clicked the wrong thing. Add a new condition. If the amount of item, so you want to go type, so plump. But it's seed specifically. Materials. There we go. If the amount of plump helmets spawn... Problem is, though, you can't tell them like specifically what to make the lavish meal out of. Is the only issue here. But if plump helmets was the only thing you had, you could say that if the amount of plump helmet spawn is more than 200, and I could change the is greater than 200, then prepare 10 lavish meals. Or I could say, if the amount of seeds is greater than 200, oops, and the amount of plants is greater than 200, then go ahead and produce that. So there's some things you can do where if this was the only lavish meal you had specific to plump helmets, or maybe you could, in conjunction with this, what you could do is you could have a stockpile. Let me go down to my actual actual kitchens here. So I could have a stockpile that is specifically being drawn from by this workshop, and then have it set up so that that stockpile only has plump helmets. That way, the only thing that they will use to make meals for this this kitchen is that plump helmet stockpile. So there are ways you can arrange things. Hey, Yogs, how you doing, mate? Yeah, there's ways you can arrange things so that, you know, you can, like, get in depth with that kind of management and really kind of micro things a little bit if you want to. There are some limitations, but honestly, for the most part, it's pretty, you know, there's a lot of finagling you can do to kind of get it to do what you want it to do. Oh wow, yeah, we are yeah, we got enough food and drinks right now. We are 100% not hurting when it comes to food or drinks. Oh boy, are we ever. Starting a new world because my last fort got mulched by an agitated wildlife. Yep. The camels, man. It was the camels. It was always the camels. Anyway, let's see here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and resume and let them continue doing what they need to do. Became captain of the guard. Oh yeah, I forgot. Last time we captured a bronze colossus, and now we're using him as target practice. I completely forgot about that. Ah, God, I love having a shoot. I love my shooting range so much. And this is honestly like a very, very effective way of training your Marks dwarves. And he can't do shit. He is 100% trapped in here, and he cannot escape. And he is just going to be used as target practice forever. So all of my squads of archers are just going to come here to train every now and then. Haha, love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, how are we doing right here? We are pumping some more water in. Oh, we did activate the waterfall system. So we are kind of giving them a nice mood boost by having that going. Looks like our power generation is doing good. Let's go all the way down here quickly and see if there's any water flowing issues. No, not appreciably. We're pretty good in general there. It was birds and moose thingies. They paper cut my fortress to death. Yep, that happens. Unfortunately, that happens a lot. Alright, looks like we've already mined out a lot of siltstone. We should have more siltstone. That's gypsum. Ugh. This is all gypsum? There's some siltstone mixed in here, but yeah, there's a lot of gypsum. This appears to be mostly siltstone down here, so we'll have them mine that. Let me go and up the priority level. Oops. No, let's not do that. Let's erase that. I don't particularly want them digging down there. Alright, that should be good. Beautiful. Continue. Camel Crafts Dwarf. Let's take a look at my little minecart system here. Oh. A dwarven child has been found dead. Where has this dwarven child been found dead? Oh! Oh, I see. I do still have my squad set up here, so let's go ahead and have them kind of sweep the enemies here. Let's see here. Amphibian man is fighting. I remember when that dwarven child unfortunately decided to go charge. Again, this game has it has always had an issue with children. The problem being that children, they like to go play out in the wilderness and the wilds and the caves and, you know, have little adventures and play, you know, go for some make-believe and all that jazz and, you know, maybe just run around singing outside. And then they tend to piss off the local wildlife and get killed in like 3 seconds. And then everybody goes into a temper tantrum spiral of death and, you know, that just doesn't work too well. Let's see here. So, ooh, attack was deflected by the steel left gauntlet. Spear Dwarf struck him with the shot is blocked by the copper shield. Amphibian woman strikes the Swords Dwarf. Shot is blocked. Swords Dwarf punches her in the left foot, bruising the muscle. Charges at her, collides with her. She is knocked over. She stood back up. Managed to get struck. Well, it tried to, but was blocked. A lot of blocking and jumping away here. Amphibian woman definitely parried the spear. The spearman charged her, and she was surprised by the ferocity of his onslaught. Collides with her again, gets knocked over, gets back up again. Spearmaster manages to stab her in the left leg with a steel spear, fracturing the bone. Motor nerve and tendons were torn. Steel spear was lodged firmly in the wound. Force bends the left hip, tearing the muscle, bruising the bone. Ouch. Ligaments have been torn, and then finally whack to the head with the steel mace. The other Swords Dwarf, apparently, even though he's a mace dwarf, apparently. Hit him in the head, jamming the skull through the brain. Ooh, ouch. So that was some serious hammer time there. That kind of finished that critter off. And there we go, that's dealt with. Keep stationing on here. Let me go ahead and claim all this stuff. It's nice too because we killed a lot of these amphibian creatures here. And that's allowed us to, applying a cast right now, that's good. But that has allowed us to, what's the word? How do I want to do this? Of course I enabled my caps lock, that's why that's not working. Locked at this location. Apparently. Okay, so be it. But we'll keep them there temporarily. So let's go ahead and... do we have any spare tombs right now? Deceased has grave. Deceased has grave. Deceased has grave. You do not have a grave. Here, I'll give you a grave. Enjoy a grave. Alright, I guess I might as well start, because I'm assuming, yep, it's all aquifer, so let's go ahead and... start building ourselves a new tomb down here. Well, new set of tombs, I should say. For our poor dwarves. Go. And we'll stretch that as far-ish as we can. There we go. Might not be able to finish all of these off here, but we'll get there. I should probably double check as well here, because it looks like we have an absolute ton of lead, and I know that that'll be good. Furniture, let's get some. Use closest, I don't particularly care which ones you use. The doors, obviously, we can't place until everything else gets done here, but hey. Let's go build a zone here. Let's get some more tombs. Oops. Misclicked that again. I really do hope that they eventually add like a right click just takes you back one step system rather than it completely clearing you out, but I don't think there's been any additional like updates or anything on this yet. I should probably have double checked beforehand, but I'm pretty sure there hasn't been any updates like the first one, which added the multi blocking or whatever, or multi designation for building blocks, I should say. But anyway, Gliab something something something. Let me create a tomb for you, my friend. Or assign you a tomb. Not have one. Anybody that doesn't have a tomb assigned is going to get a tomb assigned. He did not have a tomb. These poor dwarves. I honestly might even need to make some more because a lot of dwarves, yeah, a lot of dwarves have died. Oh, it's been pretty bad, honestly. Alright, let's go ahead and resume. But let me actually double check. You know, I'll let it resume first, but let me double check here. Because I know silver is really, really good for blunt items, but lead I'm not sure. Yeah. Constructed bars are great. Lead, as effective as steel except for armor and weapons. Another way to make use of lead does not use fuel is training your metal crafters by making them stud with it. There is no lead poisoning, so keep your food supply in lead barrels or trade lead goblets to the elves. Enjoy imagining that you're slowly poisoning them. Oh god, that's not terrible at all. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, lead is not very useful. You can kind of use it just to train up your dwarves and all that, but it's overall not very useful for a material. Camel forgot its training. Rock mechanisms is done. Very nice. Alright. How are we doing down here? A little bit of coke coal. I was going to say, how are our stocks of wood doing? 10 years later, when it finally loads in here. It's under, no, tools are for, like, the, That's the one thing as well, is, like, it's like, where am I finding petrified wood blocks? There we go, under logs. There it is. So, I have 25 logs right now. Not bad, but not great, but not bad. Also, there's blunt weapons, but lead can only be used for weapons if the dwarf is in a strange mood. Ah, I see. But honestly, when it comes to blunt weapons anyway, it's like you're better off using silver. Oh, good. So they do already have a work order for bins, so I don't need to worry about that. Waterfall's still pumping away there. The majority of our fortress is quite happy. I like how we have the amphibian men corpses up here, apparently. You know what? I should really... We have a bit too much of this stuff, honestly. Okay, let's do this then. We're gonna create an atom smasher. Actually, I should probably put that, like, somewhere far enough away that they're not gonna get completely boned by this. So yeah, let's... Let's go ahead and remove small section right here. Okay, let's go constructions, bridge. I'll keep the same thing. Oh, I probably should have... Cancel that. Because I actually do... Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and make it out of lead. Why not? Let's go ahead and get a lever. We'll kind of put that right here. Beautiful. Then once this thing is built, I will raise it up. Get everything out from underneath there, create a dump, and then we'll just dump all of these materials in that location, and then smash. Nice. Masterpiece bins. Oh, were they fighting? Again, that's another issue that we kind of have right now where... what's the word? We can't bring up the if we accidentally close a log, we can't go bring it back up again. Oh wow, there's still a bunch of these amphibian people down here. What? Huh? Excuse me, sir? Sir? You're not allowed to levitate like that, sir. Yeah, that's 5 deep water. You should have definitely drowned. What is your... What is your swimming? Oh, you're a novice swimmer, but is that really enough for you to... Huh. Okay. Well... What are you doing? I'm I'm honestly very confused right now. Huh? Okay, this is kind of interesting cuz for whatever reason, I guess this guy is just he really likes swimming. Apparently he just really likes swimming cuz he's constantly running up and around, jumping off the ledge into the water and then swimming back to shore and then rinsing and repeating this. Or he's somehow floating. I don't know, but it's kind of weird. I don't understand how he's managing this. I honestly do not. Well, I'm going to ignore that now and move on. That was rather interesting, to say the least. Alright, how are we doing up here? Excuse me. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alrighty. Now, it looks like we might be getting a little too full here now. In that some water's probably seeping down into the mines. Yeah, a little bit of water is seeping down here. I like how much different, like, creature's blood is all mixed up in one like, little tile here at the bottom. There's cattles, tossids, uvash, dumat, izum, giant hamster blood, lycasrus, amphibian man blood, ubal, swift tomb, Desat tin warmth. Like seriously, there's so many, and even the death lice gecko, all mixed into that one location. I'm like, this is somewhat confusing here. Alright, how are we doing down here, eh? They did finally get that removed as well, so let's go ahead and build that up. And ooh, looks like we have quite a few additional materials now to work with, so for all the sections that I can, let's go ahead and get them. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm well aware that they're there. Oh, somebody else is jumping off of here now, too. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is, because apparently multiple people are choosing to come this way, and it's causing issues, I'm just going to tell them to not use this section at all. Just don't come here. This is not... So basically what this does is you can basically tell them we got a normal traffic state, an expedited traffic state, low traffic state, and finally a forbidden kind of state. Now, this doesn't essentially say, hey, they absolutely cannot go this way. It's just that it basically adds additional length, like we can see right here. So for the fast road, it'll take them 1 step to kind of, or 1 second to get through that tile. For regular speed, it takes them 2 seconds to get through the tile. For slow speed, it takes them 5 seconds, and then for the restricted, it takes them 25 25 tiles worth of movement to get through this restricted area. So it basically is encouraging them to take other directions, because if they do choose to go this way, it's going to take them potentially, 100 tiles worth of walking to get through this zone now. So hopefully that'll prevent them from jumping down here and then dying. Oh great, more children deciding to go get killed. I saw that coming. You know what? Let me just go ahead and restrict this whole area. It's like, just don't come this way. Because you're causing yourselves nothing but issues. And let me just go ahead and... forbid things in this area. Because something is causing them to come this way, and I would rather they not keep doing that and keep getting killed. Okay, how are we doing with everything else here now again? Hey! Nice. Whoa. Love it. I love the music in this game. They did a really good job on that. Hey, hey, hey. Nice. Love it. There we go. There we go. Hey, hey. Yeah, no, I absolutely adore the music here. They did a really, really good job on that. I hope they add more tracks. I honestly do. Yes, actually it was. It was the same guys who, same guy who did Sound Sense also did this. As far as I'm aware. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the same guy. So there's a reason why they sound very similar. Alright. Let's go ahead and get the flooring done here now. And actually, let's see if I can do this. Ah, I can't. I was hoping I could get away with that. Unfortunately, I am not able to. We'll have to do this one at a time. I really do hope they have they add an option here where, because right now we have continue building after you've already kind of designated stuff. I hope they added an option where they can say continue building and with the same material that is selected, because that would save me like so much time, especially if you're going for this kind of style of just, you know, relying very heavily on mouse input for a lot of things. Like, I would hope that that would be another like quick option that could be added in, because it would save me so much damn time to have that as an option. Where I could just tell it, hey, just keep using this one material that I've selected until that material is just no longer. And at that point, you could tell me, hey, I know you've, you know, said you want to keep using this material, but we're out. Here's going to be the fun part with this one here, too. Because you look at this now and you're like, wait, this looks a little bit off. What's going on here? At least when I get this kind of fully constructed. Ish. And that is because I have to go like this. And there we go. Excellent. Tried playing the Steam edition a bit. My muscle memory got very confused. I hope they improve the user experience more. Yeah, 100%. There is 100% a lot of things that still need to be added into the game. Oops, apparently I forgot to remove the designations for those ones there. But the rest of it looks pretty good. Any other major alerts? No, just a couple of dwarves that unfortunately decided to go somewhere that I really should not have gone. Oh yeah. Did we hurry up here? No, it's gonna... Did we floor this in with... Oh yeah, we floored it in with wood apparently. Of course we did. Not even gonna question it. Not even gonna question it. Okay, so this one down here, I think I'm gonna make this into my second, and I haven't actually... Yeah, I need to get a lot of these kind of designated up. Yeah, this is gonna be another dormitory, and I'm just gonna shove a bunch of beds in there. Hotkeys in the workshop menus, am I right? There is a lot of stuff like that in the workshop. I haven't actually looked at the workshop in the last, like, 4 or 5 days. I've been hella busy. But it'd be nice to see what else has been added here. But let me go ahead and resume for now. Still looking good down here. 200 bone bolts has been completed. Let's go ahead and claim all of those. Alright. There we go. I have enough. Yes, we are. And done. Alright, let's go ahead and go build furniture, burial, use closest material, because I don't care which ones they use. Let's also go build doors and hatches, and again, we're still on use closest, so we'll just go ahead and plop those on. I'll switch over here just so I don't mess that up later, because I know I always do. Okay, let's resume for now. Oh, not the Steam Workshop, Dwarf Workshops. Ah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. But actually, let me take a look at the workshop here and see what's been added recently. Dark Ages 4 mythology. Let's see, pillow forts apparently. Ratman is playable. A couple bits of new art. Shaped shoes and boots. Dwarven alchemy has been added. As a work in progress. Diverse visitors and sieges. The Future is Wild. Animals from the Future is Wild documentary apparently. Magic earmuffs. A lot of different... Yeah, here we go. Dark Ages 5. War and Mythos. High horror, world generation, monsters, cryptids, extreme undead, curses, magic spells, pets, savage animals, and crafting. Developed since 2013. So that got added, which is really freaking cool. Additional races, Valkyries. We've got Angry Wargeese. Angry Wargeese, that's great. Specific decoration lets you be more specific when selecting an item to decorate your crafts dwarfs instead of relying on complicated stockpile restrictions. That I like a lot. If that actually works, I like that a lot. Being able to very, very specifically designate and say, hey, I want specifically this type of crafts to be made. Oh, God. Let's see. Shadeborn. No noble demands. Apparently somebody got really tired of the nobles demanding things. Ah! Real-time combat log with combat sound. Brings back a more or less functional combat log that lists in real time any combat event occurred in and around your fortress. It also adds sound for heavy combat blows. Interesting. So somebody actually added a proper combat log back in through the workshop, which is really nice. A lot of additional races added in here too. There's gnolls, dark elves, civilization. Burn remains is a good one, so you can burn vermin, body parts, and stuff like that to kind of in the actual like. I'm not sure if that was a unique workshop or something else, but still. Oh, there's even a mod for the Dark Ages pack as well to remove giant birds. Because I guess maybe they're a bit too ridiculous, maybe. So, yeah, honestly, it's like, there's a lot that has been added. I'm still obviously waiting for the main, you know, meat and bones of the modding world, which is, of course, DF Hack. Because once DF Hack gets updated, oh boy, then we get access to the good shit. Ah, yes. How's our old friend, the Bronze Colossus, holding on? How you doing, buddy? You have no health problems, no wounds whatsoever. I hope Therapist is being developed for the Steam edition. It is. They released a I haven't actually checked up on that today. Let me take a look here. Because I know that it doesn't require, I think, DF hack, but there's definitely some things that are needed for it. Let's see here. Popular repositories. Dwarf Therapist. Set DF INI ownership before dropping privileges. The reason settings aren't... Let me read this here if I can. Properly in OS X is because the config file ends up getting owned by root. Changing ownership in between runs doesn't work because Qt's default method in writing file creates a temp file which will be owned by the root. We can fix this by simply changing the file ownership to the current UID and GID where privileges were dropped. Avoid problems when settings being owned by the root. Okay. Latest releases. Let me take a look at the latest release page here. So yeah, the latest release that they did was a while back. And that was for the regular version. Which was for version 47.5. So they're still working on it, but it's obviously taking time. It's taking a lot of time to get because honestly, this was like the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress was not just a graphics overhaul with a couple of minor tweaks, and mouse support. There was some like major under the hood work done to kind of revamp the game in a lot of different ways. I think basically what it's saying is because of the way that either Toady or whoever else programs how the game saves its primary file, it saves it as a root directory, so it can't be edited or really pulled at effectively from the therapist. So it has to create some funky shit in order to get it to work, basically. Which is interesting. Let me actually take a look at these guys' schedule. Edit. Constant training, defend shooting range. Okay. Sleep in barracks at need. Equip always. That's fine. Done editing. Okay, so for this one, let's just say no orders. Okay, copy that. So we're going to have them use the shooting range every other month, and then they can basically relax. There we go. So let's put them on training. Wonder if I can tell. Well, I'll set it to training and see if they'll properly do what I want them to do. I hope they will, but if not, then I'll have to tweak that further. Hey, Smukazi, welcome. What do you think about the new version? I like it a lot. I definitely feel like there's still a lot of things that need to be improved and added, but overall, I've had a hell of a lot of fun with it. So, in a general way, I don't have very many complaints, honestly. Did we get everybody here marked up? We did. Good. Yeah, every single room in this section is marked. We're just kind of getting the rest of this all sorted now. There we go. Alright, let's get to work on this section here. This is going to be the biggest one to... Well, not the biggest one, but all of these are going to be kind of the major pain to get finished off here. But yeah, no, I have thoroughly been enjoying it. Found a workaround for the stair-up issue? Which stair-up issue? I haven't really noticed one. To fill holes in the floor, set it to one level visible in the settings and scroll up one. Ah, I see. Not sure if that's the right key that I'm hitting there, but anyway, it doesn't really matter too much for this, because I'm pretty sure I know which ones I need to fill in. It's just a matter of actually designating everything to be filled. Like, the two, like, it's funny too, because one of my only kind of issues that I had, for example, was the fact that we didn't have a combat log. And it kind of sucks that, hey, if I click away my combat log, then it's gone. But as I read here, like, about, what was it? About a minute ago, it looks like somebody has already modded in the workshop a combat log. I would have to actually load it up on a new world and test it. But I do find it interesting that that's, you know, somebody has already kind of gotten that done. The only other, like, major issue that I have with the game at this point from a kind of controls perspective would be essentially, like, for example here, if I misclick here and I build this, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. If I right-click to go back, I have to go back and redesignate the entire thing again, rather than just, you know, right-click goes back one step, it goes back the entire process, which is kind of annoying. So I would like it to be set up in such a way that right-clicking only goes back one step in the designation process, not the entirety of it. Was 23.7% of the fun you had in Dwarf War. Exactly. Like, combat logs have always been a major part of the enjoyment of the fortress. I mean, think of all the times that I had when we had dwarves wailing on camels, only to have the camel basically this wounded, almost beaten to, you know, just complete, did not. Weird. Maybe because I scrolled, that's why. Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, that's exactly why. Of course it was. But yeah, having a camel that was almost completely beaten up, per se, then turn around and suddenly strangle all of my dwarves that came to attack it with its back legs. How it managed to get a chokehold on my dwarves with its back legs is a complete mystery, but that camel definitely showed us who was boss. And again, in this playthrough as well, camels were 100% the absolute menace of this fortress, in that they were getting agitated. The kids or the dogs would run out, piss off the camels, and then the camels would just absolutely decimate my dwarves and my animals. I had to wall myself in just to avoid the camels, and now we're at a position where we basically tame them and turn them into guard dogs. But we still kind of, you know, semi-worship them in a way, because all of the statues I built for this fortress, which are going in the middle of every single one of these kind of crossroads here, are all camel statues. Yes, camel kicks head, head explodes, exactly. But it was the funniest thing, like, it's always weird where it's like, a dwarf somehow manages to get you in a chokehold with its left rear toe, or it's like left rear pinky or something. It's just always like just super weird seeing some of those notifications go off, and you're like, wait, what? Huh? Oops, I can't use the wrong material for those. As much as I would love to have walls made out of lead, it would look kind of weird, so let's not do that. Okay, this is all I'm designating for now, then we'll kind of leave this alone until they kind of get this done and we get some more siltstone produced. Depending on how the menu stack is implemented, it could be Toady made it difficult himself to store the previous menu state and undo the current one. Could be. Don't really know. I have absolutely zero idea how the code is under the hood, and I have nowhere near the kind of, like, skill to figure that out. So I am definitely not the one to ask for that. But that is, like, the one thing I want to see is, like... Well, actually, one thing. The two things I want to see is that if you right-click while you're designating something, it goes back one step, not completely. Unless we finally finished the 2,000 block request that I gave him, too. Let me double-check here. Oh wow, we actually finished all of that. I'm gonna have to make another work order for that, apparently. Rock blocks. Let's get another 2,000 nut shops. Whoops. Let's get another 2,000 rock blocks. Let's make sure that... Actually, let me make sure... No, it is the same regardless. Material, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Siltstone. Perfect, thank you. Please continue. A lot in older games when they kick you out of the menu entirely. Exactly, yep. From as far as I understand, the code is spaghetti. 2 people other than the Adams brothers who've seen it are now in asylum. Well, it's funny too because they just added a new dev as well. So it's the first time, I think someone mentioned it was like the first time in 10 years or something that a non-Adams brother was going to get his hand on the code. Like the in-depth code too. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of develops from that. I know, because like I said before, there was also one of the more recent kind of additions that was added in, which was interesting to me, was the Dark Ages 5 set, which adds a lot of like gameplay changes, new creatures and stuff like that. The number one mod, I would say, other than like the DF Hack and Dwarf Therapist, which are obvious ones, but the number one mod pack that I want to see brought in and like made available would be Masterwork Dwarf Fortress. Because, man, I might have played a lot of Dwarf Fortress on my channel, but I played 10 times as much Masterwork. Oh boy, I was an addict for Masterwork for the longest time. It was actually in one of my little seasons of playing Masterwork there that we had the... I know I keep mentioning it a million times, and I'm probably going to keep mentioning it a million times. But it was in one of those seasons, I believe it was the 9th, yeah, that I encountered a glitch with the terrain generation system, which caused... Oh, we got more migrants. Which caused half the mountain that we embarked into to be made out of adamantine. And that was a very interesting fortress, to say the least. We got an accomplished gem cutter, no combat skills. We got a regular old peasant with 0 skills pretty much whatsoever. Dwarven child. And that's it. Like two people migrated in. Yay. Steel bars was complete. Very nice. Hopefully they'll keep producing those. But yeah. Some things are easier to mod in. Masterwork makes a lot of things easier and less cluttered. Exactly. And the biggest thing with Masterwork, which is also kind of further enhanced with the Steam version, is that Masterwork had options in it to reduce a lot of the clutter in the game. So rather than having 50,000 different types of leather, it restricted it to, like, you know, a couple of specific types of leather and stuff like that. So there were very, you know, specific things that the pack did to reduce lag, which was obviously a major thing. Like, even now, this fortress is getting to the point now, which is why I'm trying to make an Atom Smasher, that lag is becoming a major issue with it. So, yeah. Yeah, that was another big issue as well. That's why I am very much so waiting for Dwarf Therapist, is so that we can sort by migration wave. Because otherwise, the only way to really know who just arrived in your fortress is basically to select anything, scroll down to the bottom, and see who doesn't have any jobs. And that's it. And it works, but it's still kind of annoying, because I like to... You know, I like to say that the new system as it currently exists is a major, major step up from the old vanilla system for Dwarf Fortress. It is 100% like 10,000 times better than the default vanilla system for assigning dwarves jobs in Dwarf Fortress. But it is still a step down from the amount of detail and the options and settings you had with Dwarf Therapist. So it is good. It is definitely very, very... It makes playing vanilla playable, but yeah, wide selection of icons for custom jobs and the ability to just actually, you know, specify which ones you want rather than them just kind of random generating per se. Well, not quite random generating, because it's, you know, the very, very specific numerals that'll pop up, but still. Yeah, having custom icons for that would be very nice. I 100% agree with that. It is spring now. Joyous spring now. Poor soil. Cavern soil is best. Of course, cavern soil is always best. Speaking of which, have they killed any more creatures here? You know what? I think I might, yeah, let's go ahead and recall these guys. You've been stationed here long enough. Go off duty. Go relax. You've done your duty here. You may leave. Someone can come attempt to kind of grab all this stuff here at some point. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is, to prevent them from kind of just popping up here, I'm going to quickly wall in this, like, little area here in general. Because I don't want the stuff that's here. I don't really care for it. I have more stuff that I can kind of make use of anyway. So we're just going to wall off the area and prevent these critters from seeping in, per se. But again, this won't 100%, because they could climb over this, but they probably won't. Just let us use any sprite in the game for job icons. Yeah, but it depends on how... Like, it would take a minor rework, I would think, of the system. Oh, Ghostly Trader has risen to haunt the fortress. Add new task, engrave memorial slab for Kabuk Norao. Kabuk. Make that a priority, please. And while I'm at it, Engrave memorial slabs to Silab. To you. Engrave memorial slab to Keeb. Engrave memorial slab to Urvad. Because I actually did have a ghost kill one of my dwarves before. I'm not actually using any mods in this because usually, from what I've seen, the mods require you to basically gen a new world, and this has been the save that I've been using since the game launched. So let me take a look here. So this save is now 46.8 hours long, so we're getting close to 50 hours that have been invested into this save so far. And once this fortress this fortress at this point, honestly, is probably not going to die. I mean, even if a dragon attacked, we could probably kill it. We would take losses, but we could probably kill it. So the only thing that's going to kill this fortress at this point is either my just ending it or lag. Those are the two things that are basically going to end this fortress at this point. And more than likely what's going to happen is we're going to... Let me actually double check to make sure all this is properly getting built. Yes, looks like it. So more than likely what's going to end up happening is we're going to finish off what I can for this fort. So we're going to get get it completely built. I'm probably going to send some dwarves off to do some invasions of goblin and such territories and see if we can maybe start some shit with that. But for the most part, I'm probably going to just get this thing completely finished off. And then we might end up retiring this fortress, adding a bunch of mods such as the combat log and a whole variety of items. And then we will see how things go for that. Look into expeditions. Anything new there? I have not ever... You know what? To be honest, I have never tested expeditions. Basically, when we go to the world here, we can obviously, look up different artifacts. We can send our dwarves to basically try to retrieve certain artifacts if we wish. I can also click on, for example, over here, there's a fortress that was taken over by goblins right here. So we have this, Goblin Fortress of Lulheim. Site government is the tormented meetings. We are technically at war with them, but we've never actually been invaded by the goblins, which is kind of weird. I don't know why we haven't gotten a goblin invasion yet, but we haven't. So one of the things that I would like to do at some point is send some squads to raid this, maybe pillage it, and at some point I would like to conquer and occupy it. Which would allow us to then get a tribute from that periodically, as far as I'm aware. That's what I've heard that allows us to do. Wasn't very interesting? Yeah. I feel like that is a system that does need to be enhanced further, potentially. Kind of like, one thing that, this was a crazy thought that I had was, because adventure mode is coming. Adventure mode is eventually going to be showing up for us to play with. But my thought was, what if, in a way, say for example we send our dwarves out to, let me go to the map here again. Say we send our dwarves out to conquer, oh, where the heck did that go? Here we go. We send our dwarves out to conquer this fortress. We succeed. We've captured that fortress. That fortress would then run as its own, separate colony, kind of like how the other different colonies are running. But what if we could select that fortress and say, take over or switch to fortress, and then the fortress we're currently in goes into a temporary retirement, and we then switch over to this fortress, and now we're controlling that fort and all of its dwarves, and getting that reestablished from its being taken over by goblins and trying to recover it. And then likewise, we can maybe send goods between, you know, fortresses and stuff like that. And then along those same lines, my thought was like, what if you have one dwarf in your fortress who, whether they're a peasant or whether they're like your the best dwarf you have, for example. What if you were able to click on him and say, you know, in a little sub option, go on an adventure. And then again, the fortress kind of goes into retirement temporarily. You take over that dwarf in your fortress, and then you can, you know, take him, talk to the people in your fortress, maybe get some missions from your fortress. You can wander off into the world. Maybe you can, yeah, basically switching between modes, like on the fly. Like, wouldn't that be freaking, like, I imagine the amount, it would take a lot of coding to make that happen, but wouldn't that be, like, really freaking cool if they could pull that off? Like, holy shit. You kind of can, but you would have to retire your fortress first, and then, you know, take over the fort, like the next fort again. But to be able to just kind of switch between these kind of things on the fly, not necessarily. And especially with adventure mode, it tends to... well, I haven't played with adventure mode in so long, so I'm not sure if you can specify which fortress you kind of start in, but yeah. You know, it would just be really, but you would also start as like a random dwarf there too, or whatever dwarf that you make in the creation menu. But it would just be really interesting if you could just, like, you know, switch between those modes in a way somewhat seamlessly and just be kind of expanding your empire per se. You have a Hydra on your map. I just started. How dangerous is this? Hydras can be pretty dangerous, but honestly, it really depends. Like, you could send out one dwarf and they might kill it, or your entire fortress could be wiped out by them. So, yeah, it really depends. But Hydra, I imagine that's going to be a challenge. That's basically like a mega beast showing up. Retired the fort, plays an adventurer, reached my fort, retired the adventurer there, unretire the fort very soon. I got the adventurer in the next wave. Oh my god, 1 second. Ay, caramba. Alright, finally. So yes, I think it's better to make several adventurers, retire them all in some general area, than start a fort nearby. There's a good chance they'll immigrate to the fort at some point. I mean, that would be interesting too, but it would be nice, like, my thought was, like, what if a goblin, a goblin manages to steal one of your artifacts? Now, you could send off your dwarves to go retrieve said artifact, but what if you were just to click on one of your dwarves, say, go on an adventure, and then take up the quest to retrieve that artifact yourself? And head off on that adventure, you go all the way to the Goblin Cave, you take care of all of the, 30 plus goblins that are there and retrieve the artifact, and bring it back, and then he gets, some kind of, like, promotion or, a medal or something, as a big reward for that, and then he once more goes back, rejoins the fort at that point, and we switch back over. Like, it would be interesting to try something like that. So it's like, I don't see that happening necessarily, but it's one of those things where it's like, it would be really freaking cool if it could. But anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and resume here now. The next fortress I'm going to do is going to be interesting as well, because I'm either going to... And I'll probably get rid of aquifers, because honestly, aquifers have just been annoying as hell. Even though they've been light aquifers, still, it's aquifers can be very useful, but they can also be really damned annoying to deal with. Especially if I do embark on my other, like, I'll either be embarking on a evil biome, a glacial biome, so we'll basically have a cave fortress. Or potentially maybe a volcano, but a volcano tends to be fairly easy, because there's a lot of ways you can really make use of a volcano. So, more than likely, I'll end up going with one of those kind of several options there. Okay, let's go ahead and build some slabs. Hopefully they've managed to get a couple of those. Or maybe they had no chance to get any of them done yet, so let's go ahead and let them do that. Yep, they're working on it now. Hey, Blue Jack, welcome. Started a new embark this morning. One of the first migrant waves had a necromancer in it. She started working in the crafting and jeweler's shop. Dwarven caravan arrived. Apparently got so excited to display her wares, she raised a mule skeleton, which probably killed all the traders. And all my dwarves. Wow, I didn't even know you could get a necromancer in your in a migration wave. I'm assuming that's probably a glitch. They just need to have at least one notable kill. That is pretty hilarious though. Like, I can't even imagine getting a necromancer showing up in your fort and just resurrecting skeletons. Oh boy, that would be funny. Honestly, that's the one thing with the evil biomes that has always, well, not, I'll say always bugged me in a way, is that way too many of the evil biomes are resurrection biomes. So it's like, you end up embarking... Oops, and I gotta... let me cancel that quickly. It's like, I prefer my resurrections of the undead to happen with either they kind of make their way into the area, so they just kind of... they fly into the area. And yeah, we apparently do not have any more... What the heck are these guys doing? I guess we'll use diorite then. Whatever other materials I can kind of get my hands on at this point. But yeah, it's like, I like it more when the undead that show up either come from, outside the fort, or say a necromancer actually physically shows up in your fort and starts resurrecting, one undead life form every couple of, minutes or whatever the case might be, and you have to sally forth to kind of kill him, or he's going to keep resurrecting everything in the area. I've always kind of just loathed having just, well, I embarked in an evil area and it happened to be a evil or a terrifying biome or a resurrection biome in general. So now everything that dies is going to resurrect and kill everybody. Because the biggest issue with the undead is that they can be a little bit overpowered in the sense that I've had mush still twitching around, causing all of my dwarves to freak out and, you know, suffer issues per se, and not be able to deal, which is rather annoying. And likewise, you could have a random hand just crawling around on the floor that somehow has superhuman strength and can still, like, leap on your dwarves idle hand style and just kill them. Which, again, is just, like, why? Just no. Hell no, even. Apparently we have no more coffins. I should really fix that. And did we not... Any shop can use, yep. Let me go ahead and do... Let's do 1,000 of that. We're going to use bauxite. And I would like... Oh, let's see. It hasn't been approved yet. What is my... What are you doing right now? Logum Tana. Oops. Did not mean to adjust that. Let's go by name. What are you doing right now? You're busy constructing a building. Okay. I would prefer you didn't do that right now. And again, this is the other issue with this system, is that if you're looking for a very specific dwarf, namely this guy, then it's a little bit more of a pain in the ass trying to find him going through this designation system than it would be in Therapist. There we go. You're a manager. Go manage. He straight up murdered all the caravan guards without taking a single blow. And that's exactly the issue, is that the undead are just way overpowered in this game. So it's very, very difficult. And again, we made a sterling silver wall. God damn it. That's why I like evil biomes, because like there's so many crazy things that can happen in 1 second. Let me turn this down slightly. I think it's excuse me. Apparently I'm dying now. I should probably have a quick drink here. Ugh. Like, evil biomes are kind of... I like to think of evil biomes as having, like, an area that has a higher risk. So, an evil biome, in my opinion, I would expect to find a lot of interesting, like, werebeasts showing up, a lot of, like, misshapen, like, night horrors and stuff like that. You know, like, just really crazy stuff showing up to the fortress to kind of, you know, or at least living in the area. So a lot of, like, night creatures and other, like, horrors, per se. That's what I would like to see in the evil areas. Likewise, I've seen things like, you know, rains that, raining elf blood. We've had beer rains, which I wish I could have collected and made use of, but unfortunately I could not. I've had fogs roll in that instantly turn people into undead, or cause them to be sick, or just outright kill them entirely. You know, there's like so much more interesting variety to evil biomes, but that's, like, evil biomes should be a challenge up from the base kind of areas, but not like the absolute end-all of death and, you know, horror and, oh god, we need to basically seal ourselves in and never see the light of day kind of deal. I had this bug, maybe. I designated collect fruit zone, and then I removed the zone, but all the dwarves kept collecting fruits eternally anyway, and ignored all other jobs. Yeah, that's a bug. I've had similar stuff, like for an example of why the undead in the game are a little too overpowered is, like, if you kill them, if you manage to kill an undead, the undead should be, re-dead. At the very least, if their head is smashed, that should be it. They shouldn't be coming back to life beyond that. But I've had it to the point where we were embarking in an evil biome once, and let me go ahead and just let them resume here while I'm going at this. So we were embarking in an evil biome, and undead apparently, undead barn owl swooped down and started attacking the dwarves. So all of my dwarves decided to gang. Originally, I ganged up my entire dwarves as a military squad to attack this thing. So they did, and they could not 100% kill it because we didn't really bring a lot of weapons. Oh, really? Well, the weird thing, maybe it's because we didn't have enough actual weapons that we embarked with, but the issue essentially was that they had basically done everything they could to kill this thing, and they just could not finish it off. So what happened was they basically got into a cycle of trying to gouge this undead owl's eyes out, which was basically just hollowed sockets. And they just kept going and going and trying to throttle this undead owl and keep trying to kill it in so many, they just kept doing this and doing this and doing this until they all died. So they refused to stop trying to kill this owl, and I tried everything I could think of to get them to stop trying to kill this thing and just move on, and they refused to do it. So at the end, they all died of starvation because they refused to stop attacking this undead owl. So yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, in adventure mode, they're a lot easier to deal with, but not so much. Not so much for the rest. Oh, no. Build furniture slab. There we go. Beautiful. He has ended a mandate. Baron of Ancient Hated. I had thought that said Ancient Hatred, but unfortunately it did not. I'm very sad that we did not name that properly. Hey, TND King, how you doing, mate? Looked up your channel, haven't seen a video or talked in a live stream since you played Castle Story a bunch. Oh, God. Castle Story. Man, actually, I wonder if those devs are even working on anything now. God knows I haven't seen an real update on Castle Story in, like, forever, but I mean, I enjoyed that game for quite a long time until they basically put their their big update on it where they decided that, hey, the best way we could deal with all the lag issues we're experiencing is to just, increase the health and damage of everybody and reduce the unit numbers. The only problem being that they didn't take into account unit speed along with the increase in health and damage, which basically completely destroyed any kind of, like, strategy that I had to frickin' survive in what was originally the main mode, survival. So basically, essentially how things turned out with that was they decided to prioritize the PvP of the game over the survival, which was supposed to be the main meat of the game, and then that change in direction completely ruined it for me. I mean, I still have the shirt. I still have the shirt somewhere that I got, because I freaking I was so excited for that game. I even got the kind of upgraded version of it with everything, extra keys and freaking shirt and everything. I still have that. Actually, I think I got 2 shirts as well. So yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of games like that as well. Stonehearth was one that they were developing it, and it was looking good, but at the end they kind of failed to really make it, shine per se. Loved watching your massive towers of archers where you sat in a bunch. Yeah, exactly. And have the slowing walls. Because honestly, with the way that game was designed, it's like you are outnumbered. So you cannot beat the enemy with numbers. You have only a limited amount of time between waves to, build more things and, do what you need to do, set up walls and so on. And they were able to tear through walls so quickly that building giant walls was kind of pointless. Like, you couldn't just hold them off with walls, because they would just rip through them in a relatively short amount of time, and they'd be in your face. So the only viable strategy was basically having slowing walls, or potentially just like trenches and creating a little maze. But even that was still like not the best thing in the world, because they would still run through in a short amount of time, speed up to your walls, and then you'd still be fighting hand to hand, and your own characters were not strong enough to deal with that. So yeah, Timber and Stone, man, I was really sad when Timber and Stone stopped development. Yeah, they bit off more than they could chew. Yep. That's basically what happened. They bit off more than they could chew, and they found out, like, man, we can't really, finish this off. And it's that stuff happens, because it does come to a point where you've used up all of the money that you had for development. There's nothing left. You can't necessarily just keep paying out of pocket. Loved fighting necromancers in Timber and Stone. Oh, hell yes. I loved that game a lot. I was really excited for that game. And there's been a couple of similar-ish games that have been coming out here recently. Timberborn being one to a point, but it's not quite the same in the sense that there's not really hostiles. The only real hostile is the environment. What else here do I have on my somewhat recently played list? Zombie Cure Lab is an interesting take on a very similar system. Foundation is a rather interesting one. What else do I have? There's a studio remaking Timber and Stone, by the way. Nice. That'll be good to see. I can't wait to take a look at that. Stray Scorpion has forgotten her training, so be it. Don't really care. Hopefully we'll put him to rest soon. How goes the training up here? Looks like somebody's shooting the Colossus again. Oh no, nobody's shooting the Colossus. What's going on here then? Oh no, they were shooting the Colossus. Yep. Oh yeah, he came up here, shot a round full of ammo. Oh no, he's shooting from over here, that's why. Okay. People who love the game were sad it closed. Yep. It's a total fan-made studio, by the way. Ah, I see. That's kind of a similar thing to what happened to Cataclysm in a way as well, in that the main dev kind of abandoned it to a point and gave it up to the other people who were kind of making mods for it and so on, and then it kind of got, sucked in to its own thing, and then he came back later on and was kind of, there was a lot of drama with that, to say the least. All the work they're doing very good right now. Let's see. Did you link it there? Let me check on YouTube here. Because I don't have the chat open for that. Let me pull this. Suspense is killing me during the 10-hour stream. Did you figure out click to expand the 4 arrows top left? No. No, I did not. Alright, let me go to the actual channel here quickly. I really need to remake my channel video as well, because, yeah. Alright, let's see here. Towns disaster? Oh, God. Yeah, I remember that. I remember a lot of disasters throughout the years. I think, honestly, the biggest one for me was Dead Linger. Now, that was, ugh. That was a whole cluster of just, ugh. RE3 Studios. Alright, I'll take a look at that later. go ahead and resume here and let them hopefully make some blocks. Why are they not making blocks right now? Because we have all these workshops. There we go. So they are working on it. They're just taking their sweet time actually getting it done here, apparently. Okay, he's been put to rest. Good. Ghostly Trader's been put to rest. Very nice. Let me see if I remember this one. I'm trying to remember which town's one that was. Because I vaguely remember that, but I'm trying to remember the details of it. Because there's been like dozens of games over the years that have tried to capture the magic of Dwarf Fortress. And honestly, out of all of them, I think the only one that really came close to succeeding was, not even came close to succeeding, I would say kind of did succeed to a point, is RimWorld. Small devs tried to make what Silver's playing right now. Better looking Dwarf Fortress and modern mouse controls. Yeah, there's been so many of those that have failed that I can't even remember all of them anymore. Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, RimWorld's been a pretty big success for that. It kind of evolved into its own thing. I mean, it still never quite captured the same diversity of what, RimWorld has, but let's be honest, what can, for something that's been developed this long, it's like, it would be pretty darn close to impossible to get all the same kind of intricacies. You could get a Dwarf Fortress-like game. Honestly, when it comes to RimWorld, the thing that I love doing the most is Hardcore SK. And I have no idea where development is on that right now. I actually had one of the devs or whatever had always hung around the channel back when I was doing that. Mule Skeleton straight up murdered all the caravan guard. That was an old one. I keep forgetting I got the other chat open there as well. I still remember, oh god, that was so embarrassing on the first day when I didn't have the YouTube chat up at all. Which was kind of just sad. Oh boy. Oh wow, they've done a really good job clearing out all the ore here. I have to say, in order to get ore from one level straight down to the bottom level, this is like the perfect system for it. Oh, Keeper RL? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've played Keeper RL a couple of times in the past, and I've actually quite enjoyed it. I got a few videos on the channel for that. It was notable that it copied a lot of the mechanics of DF, sold a lot during early access, the game kind of abandoned. Yeah, a lot of games have been abandoned like that. I wonder if I have it in my library. Let's take a look here. Does not look like I do. So luckily it seems I avoided that one. But yeah. Honestly, it's been so long since I've played Keeper RL, I'm not even sure how, like, what's been updated on that. I wonder, does it actually tell me? It might tell me when was the last time I played that. Keeper RL. Last played November the 10th, 2019. Dear God, it has been a few years. So yes, I have not even remotely played that in a long time. I do need to get that at some point, going at some point as well. Because I know that now that this fortress is kind of getting to the point of nearing its completion, we are going to be, obviously, regardless of what happens, we're still going to be doing a lot more of this. Like, again, we'll see how the votes go and what we embark on for the next one, whether it's the undead or, yeah, that's a long time. But yeah, no. Whether it's the undead fortress that we go for, or for the glacial biome, or whatever the case might be. But one of the things that I'm also going to throw out there is whether or not people want me to just keep going with Dwarf Fortress, you know, pretty much every week, per se, or if they want me to throw some Cataclysm and or X4 back into the mix as well. Because Cataclysm did release a new stable version. So, and it looks like they added a lot of interesting content to that. So, including a lot of quest content as well. So it would be very interesting to dive back into Cataclysm again. Although, one of the things that when I was reading the patch notes that made me go like, oh god, no, is that apparently they've further raised the difficulty level of the game a little bit with the changes that they made. And I was just like, no, please no. Please no. It was difficult enough as is. You don't need to make it more difficult. Please stop. It's like, this is the game where you can turn the wrong corridor and instantly have your face shredded by a random machine gun turret that just happened to be there. And although there are kind of ways to realize, oh hey, there's probably something I don't want to mess with in here, it's like, I've had like full-on power armor and mutations and all kinds of stuff, and still end up dying to stuff like that. So it's like, you don't need to make the game more difficult. If we really want to, we can just, go with full-blown apocalyptic mode where, as an option, where spawn count goes through the roof and, food rots in a hurry or something like that. If we really want to torture ourselves, we can, have the option to make it more hell. But by default, no. Like, I find in that game that I tend to slow the zombies down slightly so that they're not, like, outrunning you. I don't want to have War Z style zombies in that game because it's just, there's no way you're gonna, especially when they have specials enabled. And then you have like a Hulk bursting through the walls and you can't outrun him. But one of the good things that was one of the major good things that I read that was added was that there goes my brain for a hot second. 1 second. Downloading new brain. Please wait. Hey, they reworked inventories around so that, like, for example, whatever storage space you have in your pockets, you actually have storage space in your pockets, and that is where those items are stored. So, for example, you could have a go bag on your backpack, or go bag on your backpack, go bag on your back, and if you are getting into combat with something, you can immediately drop that go bag. All the items in that inventory are still in there, but they just drop on the ground instantly, and you can then fight unhindered. So they've made it so that all of the inventories are, actual proper inventories like that. So if you're storing stuff in your pants, that's actually being stored, with the whatever space it happens to be in your pants. They nerfed survivor armor? Yeah, they nerfed a lot of crafted stuff. They did, from what I saw, which is kind of understandable, kind of not. Because, the best armor is always going to be power armor. But it's a pain in the ass to get, so it's like, I don't know why they would want to nerf a lot of the crafted stuff. Because I guess maybe they were tired of people just kind of, grabbing a few items, running out into the woods, and then never leaving, and just kind of crafting the best gear, and then going crazy with that. Maybe. Shrug. I don't know. But either way, it is what it is for that. Hey, Nexus, how you doing, mate? Yes, welcome to the lurk. I kind of wish that I could have all of the, new emotes and that on YouTube as well, but unfortunately they do not have as established a system as Twitch does for stuff like that. So, yeah. Let's use closest material. Don't really care which one of these doors they use. We're just going to go ahead and slap doors on. No access to a door. Oh, I see. We have an open space here and here. I completely did not see that. And of course I hit use closest material, which is what I do not want to do. Select material after placement. Hopefully we got some block site blocks. We do, so we'll go ahead and use those. There we go. Hopefully there's no more gaps like that. But there might be. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Oh yeah, we just gotta wait for them to get a door for that. But yeah. Cataclysm are pretty hard. For some reason, whenever I play it, I just don't enjoy it. Don't know why. I just don't like the overall gameplay. Kind of fun to watch, though. Yeah, it can be pretty grueling, because it's a very unforgiving game, in a sense. Did reach almost invulnerable alpha mutant in a power armor stage once. They got tired of people having fun in their game. That's not how devs should dev. That is an issue, because I actually, again, because it was a community-run project, so a lot of people were working on it, I did know some of the people who were kind of developing it, and there was definitely a lot of drama, in a way, when it comes to certain people wanting, wanting things a certain way, where other people were like, no, that doesn't make sense, or we don't want it, and there's a lot of back and forth fighting about stuff. Like, for example, there was a huge emphasis being put on realism versus gameplay, where a lot of focus was being put into making every little thing like super hyper realistic, and at the sacrifice of a lot of gameplay. Yeah, realism versus fun, basically, is what the big arguments were about. Whereas some of the devs were just like, no, this should be, we should be making this fun. Yes, there should be some realism aspects to it, but they should be, potentially something that somebody can just disable at will and not be kind of forced into having shoved down their throat in a lot of ways. But, yeah. Kind of like, at one point, you could literally, as long as you had, like, ammo and the gun, you could just load ammo directly into the gun and, make use of it up to its limit of whatever, 30 shots, whatever the case might be. Then they added in a system of magazines, which were a good thing and a bad thing, because you would have to, if you found a gun, you would have to load in ammo one at a time and fire, or you would have to find a very specific magazine for that type of gun, and then you would load the magazine, and then pop the magazine in, and then you'd actually be able to make use of it from that, which was good in a way, because that would allow you to fill multiple magazines up with ammo, and then, you would be able to just... Oh, crap, I forgot to switch that over again. You would be able to, keep fighting, even if you used up your ammo, which was good, but... there were other elements as well that got added in that were kind of not the greatest. I'm trying to remember exactly which ones, but for some reason, I mean, it's been so long since that a lot of that I really kind of invested my time into a lot of that stuff, that I do not remember a lot of the details of like which features were very kind of what the hell. I think one of them, yeah, I think I remember now. One of them was like the way that they changed. Oh yeah, that was what it was. The way that they changed around vehicle mechanics. So it used to be that as long as you had the, a certain tools, you could kind of, chop up the vehicle and kind of make use of, make your own super vehicle. And then they tweaked it so that you had to have very specific things, or you could not, like, you did not have the ability to lift the vehicle. If it was too heavy, then it wouldn't move. You'd have to have multiple engines in it. And there were just so many more limitations put around making your own vehicles. And there were issues that stemmed from that, where if you slammed into something and like certain parts got damaged, or even just if you slammed into anything, period, sometimes there would be an issue where your vehicle would just it would glitch out, and it would say that it is now suddenly too heavy to function. And that became a whole issue at times. And there was also the issue of you basically only ever wanted to drive on the road. You basically were put in a position where you no longer wanted to drive off-road because the random shrubs and bullshit that you would drive through became a serious impediment to the vehicle, because as you were running into these random shrubs, they were kind of heavily damaging the vehicle. Variety of weapons made finding the right magazines for your favorite gun winning the lottery. Basically, that's what the issue was. It's like, in theory, the system is good, but because there's so many different types of guns and so many different types of magazines, it's like you would have to scout several towns to find all of the stuff you needed. And the issue being, especially if you play on the default settings, it's like, good luck going through towns because they're so crammed full of zombies that you're not getting anywhere. It's like, it's not happening. Don't even try. You're not going anywhere in there. And again, that's why I do tweak the files around, or well, when I'm making my worlds for that, I do tweak it around to make to both lower the zombie count, like lower their numbers, and also to lower their speed, simply because, again, having them instantly be able to, outrun you, like, you would burn through your stamina so quickly, they would outrun you and you'd be dead just to regular zombies, like, all the time. Even if you tried to, like, fight them one at a time, forcing them to come through windows, again, same problem would happen, in that you were getting so exhausted so quickly when it came to fighting, that they would just overwhelm you with their numbers. And if any specials showed up, you were especially screwed. So yeah, it was like, there was just so many choices that were made that were inclined more towards a sense of realism than a sense of fun. And you never want to prioritize realism over fun. Because at the end of the game, apparently, at the end of the day, you're playing a video game. You're playing a video game to have fun, not necessarily to torture yourself. So yeah. Oh, dog is fighting, apparently. A giant hamster is causing a ruckus. Oh, well. I don't really care. Have they still not built this bridge? Wow, they still haven't built that bridge. What the hell? Wandering hordes are probably still completely broken. Random loud explosion. You get surrounded because of wandering depends on the noise level. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like our power plant shut down. I'm like, ruh-roh. Power plant floodgates. Somebody pull that quickly. Let's get our power plant back up and running. Let me also have somebody pull this lever here quickly so that we can temporarily kind of fill up the cistern. Okay, power plant should be coming back online here again shortly. There we go. Power plant just kicked in. Water's flowing. Good. Give it a couple of seconds for this water to kind of drain in. Silt soil. Is silt soil sand or clay? I believe it's a mix of sand and dirt. So it's kind of a sandy dirt. From what I remember. I'd have to take a look at it. Oh, I've got many awesome artifacts. Nobles still randomly pull levers, don't they? No, I haven't seen them pull any levers randomly. And I also haven't had any ghosts pull levers, so... Alright, we'll pull that one there, then I will engage the main pump as well. So we can refill up that area. Let's clear these off here. Stray hen was bit by a honeybee, unfortunate, or stung by a honeybee. Did you... I want to make sure that gets shut first, because I don't want to flood the... There we go, pull that. I don't want to completely flood the power plant, because the moment I flick this switch, this will instantly become all sevens. It won't even slowly fill up, it's just instantaneous. You know, let me also forbid passage right here, just to make 100% sure that nobody is coming down here. Boom. Instant sevens. Pull that lever again. Thank you. Priority. Okay, how are we doing here when it comes to filling this? Pretty good. Pretty good. Once it gets up to about 5s and 6s, I'll reopen these floodgates and we'll get the waterfall going again. Do I have to send somebody to kill the hamsters again? Apparently I do. Alright. I know you guys aren't doing anything right now. You're enjoying your day off, but unfortunately you have to go kill some hamsters. Yeah, go ahead and kill all of that, except the buzzard. The buzzard, if the buzzard comes down to attack you, he can die. Alright. Let's zoom back in. Let me actually double check and see what this actually says here about it. Yeah, it's one of the many types of soil. So it's just a soil type, that's about it. Resume. Yeah, I can't believe they still haven't built that bridge yet. What the heck? Maybe I should. Achoo! Game is unplayable without the wiki constantly up. Well, actually, one thing you can do is if you go into labor and stone use, the majority of, like, a lot of your stones are found here. So you've got other stones, so whether they're magma safe or not. Obviously, what is it? Gabbro is magma safe. Ilmenite is magma safe. Mica. We can see all of our economic stones and what they're used for. Alabaster is made for used for plaster. Bismuthine is used for bismuth. Coal, obviously, for coal. Calcite is used to make steel, pig iron, and quicklime, so it's basically a flux stone. Cassiterite is an ore of tin. It can also be used to glaze. I do hate the auto-weaving of thread, so I turn that off. Yeah, that is an issue. I've always found auto-weaving to be a little bit annoying at times, too. What nobles... no, I was already from before. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of tutorials out there that are still pretty good. It's funny, too, because I think somebody was... I think... what was the word? Cough, cough, words, cough, cough. Let's make this out of, like, siltstone and see if they build it quicker. Whichever bridge they actually build, like, in a relatively decent amount of time, I'll get that established as my Atom Smasher. Because I, again, really need to start getting some stuff Atom Smash. Because we're kind of lagging here quite hard. Alright, we are so close to actually finishing our our bedrooms, though, so... Let's see if we can 100% this sucker. Actually... No, I'll keep using the, siltstone... And of course I did that again. There we go. But I'll start using the bauxite for the rest of it there. For the corners and then for the rest of the walls. Just so we can actually keep that going. Right, siltstone. And of course I had to make sure I'm scrolled all the way up to the top. Which is weird, it shouldn't be... It shouldn't be that I have to have it scrolled all the way up to the top for that, but I guess I do. Oh, well. Alrighty. When I think I finally found hematite, it's fall right. Same color, darn. Oof. Ah, you'll get some eventually. That's actually one thing about the Steam version that I really do like, is that you're not going to find, like, although, again, I've only done the one embark, so I'm not 100% sure if this is a accurate representation of, ore distribution. So let me know by any means, since I know that, Yogs, you've probably had a couple of embarks at this point. But, I feel like in this version, ore distribution is done much, much better in the sense that when you embark into an area, you're not just going to find 2 ores and that's it. You're actually going to find like 4 or 5 different types of ores where you can have a multitude of stuff. So you're not just going to find like, well, all I have to work with is silver and lead. All depends on the settings for ore rarity. Yeah, true. If you were to set ore rarity quite high, I imagine it would make it a bit more restrictive. But in general, I feel like at least the different types you find in a single embark have definitely increased. Although, again, I could be wrong on that. Right, let's start working on the actual walls. And for that, we're going to go bauxite. Oh, yeah, good old bauxite. I'm really looking forward to the moment where they add an option to just keep building with the same material. There we go. We're getting down there for the blocks. Pretty much find all the essential ores almost everywhere. That's the thing, yeah. Whereas before, it's like you were restricted to like whatever 2 ores. Like if you had shallow metal and deep metal, you would have like 1 shallow metal and 1 deep metal, and maybe if you were lucky, you would have a smattering of like other ores in the area. Whereas with this one, it's like you're gonna have a variety. Even if there's not that much of it, you're gonna have a variety, which is good. I do like being not being completely restricted by one type of ore for armor and such. Like being stuck with a fortress and the only thing that we can actually produce is copper. Kind of sucks when you start encountering things that are using a bit more advanced technology than copper. Alright. Speaking of World Gen, I still almost never see it go past the Age of Myth. Yeah, I never go past the Age of Myth at all. Just because I like having I like my fortress to kind of be... Let me cancel those ones. I like my fortresses to, kind of have that sense of, like, we're the first pioneers, in a way. We're one of the first few dwarves settling out into the world and taming the unknown wilderness kind of thing. That's the kind of vibe I always like to have in my fortresses, which is why I don't even remember the last time that I went past 100 years in a world gen. Probably not for like 10 years. Like, I just never go past, like, the very early years. The 80s is about usually as high. 80s or 90s is about as high as I ever really go. Which does kind of limit things in a way for a lot of the stuff that kind of goes on in the world and then can kind of arrive at your fort. But then again, it also kind of gives you that aspect of, hey, all of the different beasts that are out in the world, guess what? They're still out there. So they're quite potentially going to show up at your... Every single dragon, every single forgotten beast and other creature in the world could potentially show up at your fortress because they have not been killed yet. I remember there was I think the only time. Yeah, the one thing I would say about this as well, is this version, I should say, is that World Gen is very, very fast. Like, very slick in how fast it is. Go, bauxite. And there we go. Now let's go ahead and build some floors here and get this kind of little section finished off, and then we'll just kind of let the game run for a bit so that they can start building that off. But I'm really hoping that bare minimum today we can finish off the living area here, and then I'd like to start getting to work on the actual throne room. And then once that's kind of established, then I mean, assuming I have enough time today. What time is it? About 2 hours. Because I haven't done anything all of the long weekend, I'll probably keep going for at least 3 hours today. And then unfortunately I do have, as always, things I must do. Oh boy, hiccup. But yeah. Like, when it comes to some of the history there, I think, yeah, what was it? The longest, I think the longest generation I did was specifically because I had created a world that was supposed to be so hostile that life would find it very difficult to kind of take root in it, and I wanted to see how far a lot of the civs could go. Did you get to the second age of myth or the third age of myth on Pocket Worlds only? Yeah, but that's one of the things as well with the Steam version that is very improved, is that because the generation runs so well, you can actually gen long worlds. Or gen old worlds, I should say, without it being, complete crap. Alright. Ah, yes, of course. Oh, whatever. We'll fix that when we get access to it. Anyway, I digress. Let's let them do what they need to do. Stretch. Alright. Honestly, considering... Of course. Gather up, everybody. They're more than likely just going to get caught in this anyway. Actually, did I link that to something yet? I did. Ah, whatever. I have enough cage traps down here. I'll just let them get caught. Oh, wait. No. I take that back. There's a lot of them. Pull that lever right now, please. Yep, no, I take it back. Pull the lever. Pull the lever. Pull the lever. Pull the lever now. Oh, one got in. We caught a lot of them, but a lot of them are also getting in here now. Did anybody pull that lever yet? Yes, the lever has been pulled. So some of these guys might be getting... Oh, there we go. They went for a trip. And, of course, the Dwarven Child is attacking. Confirmed. Attack! Looks like the child got heavily hit there for a second. Let's see what happened. Dwarven child Ral is fighting. Struck him, but she jumped away. I must withdraw. Managed to stab him in the lower arm with a silver spear. Ugh, and actually did hit him pretty hard. Got lodged in the wound. Pulls on it and regains possession. And luckily the child got away with one little wound. Giant glass disc traps are still effective. Well, cages are always been effective. I just don't like using cages too much because it feels a little too cheap to me. Oh boy. Oh boy, our combat dwarf is losing hard. I think. Ability to stand lost. Yep. Looks like his left foot got heavily damaged there. My other combat dwarves need to show up. They did finally show up. Here they go. They're attacking. And they've been dealt with. Alright, what am I being pinged about here? Alright. Let's do this. Release the Kraken. Actually, one thing that I could do, although I'd have to... Because the only reason that we actually caught this Colossus... Where the hell is he? Yeah, there he is. The only reason we actually caught this Bronze Colossus is that he was trying to cross this bridge, and a spray of water basically pushed him into the cage, which caused him to get trapped. Because the only way you can get a Titan like that to be caught is to make them dodge into a trap. Otherwise, they will just basically ignore it. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. No, you guys aren't done yet. Station up. Station up over here, even. Prepare for battle! Oh, God! There's a lot more of them than I thought there would be. A lot more of them than I thought there would be. This might be a mistake. Well. Malapristi? What is it? Yeah, Malaprist. Kadol. Sakzul. Uvash. I wish you luck in this battle. Together, gentlemen, form a line! Stop the invaders! Form line! So far, they're doing pretty good. They haven't been wounded yet. They're charging in there a little bit. Oh, he had to fall back. He took some, ooh, his left eyelid is infected. Ooh, that's not good. That is a lot of them. Check some of the combat logs here. Dwarf is fighting. Iron Warhammer, injured part is crushed. Shakes the amphibian man spearman around by the left upper leg, tearing apart the leg. Artery's been torn. Ooh, ouch. Shakes him around by the left upper leg again, and the hip collapses. Ouch. Keeps shaking him around by the leg. So he's just like wailing him around in the air right now. And just this poor creature is just falling apart as this Dwarf is just shaking him around using his leg. He's turning him into an amphibian like windmill right now, basically. Well, the problem is they all have spears and some of them have shields, so they're pretty They're not weak, I will say. But luckily, neither are my dwarves. Because if I go into health and description, she is strong. For you, let's go into your description. He is absolutely inexhaustible, amazingly agile, incredibly tough, strong, and rarely sick. If I go into his skills, he's also a legendary observer, a legendary discipline, legendary fighter, a high master spear dwarf, talented dodger, proficient kicker, skilled armor user. So, pretty darn powerful dwarves. Likewise, this guy here, if I go to description, quite durable, agile, and strong. Indefatigable, rarely sick, quick to heal. Unfortunately, you did actually get your foot cut open, so there's that. We're still waiting on the rest of these guys to actually station up here. Oh boy, they're breaking in now. They're spreading out here a bit too much. Alright, enough of my dwarves appear to have been... So somebody pull that lever right now. So they're not anywhere near that, so we don't have to worry about them kind of getting caught up in this. So let's pull that lever quick, because we're kind of getting overwhelmed a little bit here. Finally, somebody else decides to join the fight. One of our recruits. I don't think we've lost a dwarf yet. One of them is pretty... Oh, no! The spear dwarf has been found dead. Oh, that sucks. So, unfortunately, one of our guys did die. Let's see his final moments. So things were going well until... Oof. So until they managed to stab him in the foot, basically. And that caused him to fall over and lose a lot of his abilities. And then he still kept fighting. They kept hitting him pretty hard. Left foot again, so they really kept going for his feet. That seems to be the only way they were really able to beat him, was just stabbing him in the foot, the poor guy. Upper body with the copper spear. And finally, at the end, he got hit in the lower body. It's mostly cut away from the rest of the torso. So the spearman, amphibian spearman, basically managed to cut him in half using a spear. And that's when he finally died, unfortunately. You showed up. Burko Blade. Did you actually even bring a weapon? Yeah, you got a bismuth bronze spear. Lorbrum finally showed up with his axe, so we can get some more action going on here. But still, we've only lost one dwarf so far. Oh, shit. Cancel that. Do not pull that. Wait, what are you doing up here? You're too busy drinking and not fighting with your brothers. What the hell? What is wrong with you? Wait, why are you naked? Oh, because that's a dwarven child. That's, or not even a child, a baby. That's why. I was like, why are you naked? Yeah, they definitely do need to have, like, children's sprites. But it looks like we've managed to... Oh, did we lose another one? Oh, no! We lost Mallow! Mallow, no! Oh, he was legendary, too. Oh, man, that sucks. How did he die? That really sucks. So, looks like he got strangled to death. Basically. That's basically what happened here, is he got strangled to death. Ouch. The best addition to this game is child labor. 100%, yeah. Because regular Dwarf Fortress kids were just completely useless and absolutely aggravating because of that. Attack! Charge! Take no prisoners! They have killed our brothers. They must pay the price. You did actually get all of this blocked off here, too. Oddly enough. Okay. You guys can return to your duties. You've done well this day. Actually, I'm going to have all three of you go back to training. Because now we're going to need a dwarf to replace our losses. Man, I really did not want to lose Mallow. Because he was a really good dwarf. Victory, but at what cost, I should say. Oh, geez, that's not what I wanted to do. Unforbid all of these items. We're definitely a spear-happy fortress now, thanks to these guys. Man, that really sucks. That really sucks that we lost them. There's a lot. Three people that entered martial trances, too. Sell the prisoners to the elves? Sure, why not? Assuming they live that long. I figured that one would be finished first, okay? Let's see. Link lever to that bridge. Pull lever. And then once that's been done, I can create a dump stockpile underneath that and then get all of this stuff dumped in there. That does suck, though. I really was hoping that... Oh, God. What the heck? Did we... Okay. I see. We ran the well dry there. So let's shut off the main pump stack for now. And then activate the lower stack as well. Okay, so we're going to start pumping from the lower chamber, which, yeah, we're all 7s down here, so we're probably going to be good. Let me go ahead and get this turned on to pump manually. Hopefully someone will come down here and fill that again. I don't want to add too much to this. So we'll fill it up to like 3s or 4s, and that'll be good enough. Man, I'm gonna have to get a really good tomb for them, because they were really, those were good dwarves that I lost there. Those were real good dwarves. But that's the military life for you. Okay, that should be sufficient. Let's turn that off now. Pull that lever. But yeah, having the kids actually be able to properly, like, haul and build some things and such makes them actually, like, at least somewhat useful. Which is something that we desperately needed for them, because they were always just completely useless. Go ahead and erase. Okay, create a garbage dump. Aha, interesting. There we go. Alright, this stockpile here. Remove it completely. And I want every single thing here dumped. There we go. Get all that dumped out. And hopefully we have enough actual people to do that. One coffin per tomb. Why? Yeah, because it's essentially like you don't have to have like all you really need is a slab engraved with their name and you're done. You don't really need to have it to be like one tomb, one kind of burial chamber or whatever, but or per coffin or whatever the case might be. But one thing you can do though is when you actually do have them in here, you can go multi, and as long as the room contains the coffin, then it'll automatically say 3 tombs will be created. Done. 3 tombs were created, just like that. Quick, easy, done. So now if I click on each individual one here, that's just a very quick way of getting that kind of established. I thought I had set up to auto-create coffins, though. I guess not. Rock coffins. Let's say less than 10. Then go ahead and create 10. Okay. I want to go here. Statue. Details. Specify the image. What was his actual name? Great, now I gotta figure that out. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. Tick the card. So it is Domus Tick the card. Miss Mass burial chambers for your cats. Oh god. Well, you can do it. Creature. No. Historical figure. Oh, I guess he wasn't historical enough for it to matter. Yep. Nope, guess not. You can somewhat specify, not necessarily engravings, but you can, for the creation of statues, yes, you can tell them very specifically what to kind of make it out of. Like, for example, one of the things that I was making a lot of was statues of 2-humped camels. Actually, I should probably make some more anyway. Statue. Details. Specify the image. No. New image. Creature. Two-humped camel statue. Action or relationship. Screaming, I could go with striking a menacing pose. And is screaming. I guess I only get one or the other. Okay. Well, I guess I can. Menacing pose. And is screaming. And done. And we're going to go ahead and make... let's make another 100 of those. Beautiful. So yeah, you can be very, very specific with your statues and stuff. Which is always nice. That's why I have all these statues of camels kind of like scattered around. Up, down here. I could also specify what material they could make that out of, but meh. I don't want to go into that much detail, honestly. I could, but meh. Okay, let's finish the rest of these walls up here. If we can, which looks like we're going to be lacking a few materials. Oh my god, hiccups, no. Try using some more bauxite for this quickly. Just so I can finish some of this off without it being too crazy. Looks like I also missed sections of the floor. There we go. Hey. So I still need to save some siltstone for finishing off the corners here, so I don't want to waste all of that if I can help it. There we go. Someday I'll get back into this game or Cataclysm. For now, I must rest. It is almost midnight. Well, you have yourself a good one there. And actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and make that right now and throw it in here as well, because I did want to... Let me go ahead and create that here quickly. So if you feel like it, feel free to vote on this guy here as to essentially which, whether or not I'm going to add any Cataclysm or everything else to the mix here coming up shortly, or whether I should just stick with Dwarf Fortress, or well, specifically with doing this version for the next while. And this will mostly take effect once this fortress is done, which I don't imagine that this fortress is going to last the rest of the week. By the end of the week, I'm thinking that we should have basically finished this fortress up in the sense that we have built the whole thing, everything is established, we've maybe sent our guys out to raid and conquer that goblin fortress, is what I'd like to see happen. At least I'll send them out on a couple of different raids and we'll see how that goes. Could end horribly, might not. We'll see how how things kind of go. But this fortress is kind of getting to the point where it's nearing its end. Whether it's a lag end or otherwise, we'll see. It's going to be a shame, though, because this has been a hell of a fortress, and it was nice bringing back one of the old classic builds that I did when it comes to this inverted pyramid here. Definitely makes life a lot more difficult when you're building it like this, that's for sure. Ah, frack. Excellent. Especially when we first started off doing this, we didn't even have the select all option here for making use of the different stone types. You had to manually click every single one, which drove me slightly crazy. But at the end of the day, we still got it done, and that's what matters. I could also further enhance the structure itself by sealing in the lower portion, so that it is basically the entire structure at that point is inaccessible unless you get through a gate. So I could probably do, and probably will do that. Right, let's go ahead and fill in all the gaps here, and we're basically pretty much done for this floor at that point. At long last. Now we just have to work on the upper floor, and we're pretty much done with the entire fortress design. Although, again, I did screw up the design of the upper floor in the sense that it's 2 blocks smaller than it's supposed to be. So we're going to have... The designers of the fort got really just hammered one day. And unfortunately, as they were going through the design, they decided that, you know, they just didn't need those extra 2 blocks on one side. They can crap those... They got sick and tired of the nobles, you know, and all their constant demands, so they decided to crap in one of their sides with the kind of temple section of the fortress. It's like, that'll teach them. Making us work these long hours. Cutting our booze rations. The monsters. He has grown attached to an iron spear. Good job. Camel over to a wild state. We'll give it a few minutes to kind of catch up in a lot of ways. Still no access to the coffins. So he did get added here. Let's see if we got his... Because I know we were working on... I'm pretty sure I was working on one, I should say. Nope, guess not. Unless I didn't prioritize it. Yeah, I thought so. It's a shame you can't look them up on stuff like this for whatever nickname you've given them as well. It only gives you their actual name, which is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. Man. There you go. You definitely deserve it. Let's actually go ahead and do that as well. Let's make... So that they stop complaining about it, we're going to make 80 lead cages. He grew attached to his crutch. That's funny. Oh, boy. I digress. But yeah. How are we doing for this? Water levels there are good. Water levels here are good. I don't think I'm going to re-enable the waterfall system. Actually, I almost should, because a lot of people are not super happy right now. Drinks? Oh god, we have 2,000 drinks now. Woof. Well, I don't think we need to worry about booze anytime soon now. Oh boy. No, we do not. Oh yeah, look at that. They have so much of it. Oh my god, that's all in the workshop. Wow. Yeah, we definitely don't need to worry about that anytime soon. We are drowning in drinks. Good. Looks like they're all hauling stuff to that pile, so there's a lot of stuff we have available there now to essentially atom smash. Now, obviously, we have to wait for them to finish doing this completely before we start smashing, because otherwise we're going to lose more dwarves, and there won't even be a body to recover. I think at some point they might even remove atom smashing and just kind of set it up as such a thing where if anything is stuck underneath that, it is simply reduced to dust and or squished beyond recognition or something. Something along those lines is what I imagine. I mean, it's funny too because it's like, even for something like the quantum stockpile, it would not be, I would think, that difficult to really, like, remove the quantum stockpile if the dev really wanted to. Because all he'd really have to do is say that a single tile can only carry so much weight, and then after that it can no longer, no items can be stored in there. Or if, for example, you're dumping it down into that, then the item is forced to go, what's the word? It's either forced to dump off to either side of that pile. Like if I'm dumping it down a tube, for example, or down a channel, then it gets forced off to either one side, or if that's impossible, say you only have it like a one-tile tunnel going straight down 5 floors, then it starts to fill up the tile above it. And again, the tile above that and tile above that until it gets all the way up to the top where you can no longer dump any more into it at all. So I imagine that could be a solution per se to that. But it really depends on how much the dev cares about that. And I honestly, if he really did care about that, then he would have fixed it long ago. Kind of like the danger room, how that finally got fixed. Because that was just a little bit too overpowered. There we go. But as always, there's always a lot of other ways to train your dwarves. Kind of like what we're doing with our lovely gym down there. Our outdoor gym. Oh. Stone, we're almost done. We're so close to finishing this. Like 100% either way, I want to at least bare minimum get this done before I'm forced to run away. Siltstone, there we go. Let's get the walls and the corners here done. We're going to make them out of bauxite. And I just made that out of lead. It's always funny when it knocks it down a bit, and then it, I honestly think, like, if you can't add an option where, you know, just like if I go keep building after placement as an option, if you can't add with the same material as an option, then at the very least, whatever material that you last used to build something should always be at the very top, regardless of its distance. Alright, let's go use closest material for this. Start placing doors. We did it! Alright, so the living quarters, or, yeah, living quarters has now been completely established. Very nice. Okay, this one is also, I think I already designated it. Yep, this is a dormitory, so let's go build furniture bed. So we're just going to throw a whole bunch of beds in there, and that's going to be the other, like, just of the two communal dormitories, per se. Until we get the rest of these bedrooms completely established. But first things first, we have to finish patching up the floor above, so we can actually do that. Go. Yeah, again, it would have used lead for that, which I am not. Why do we even have lead up here? Oh, no, we don't. It's just that it's down in the cave. That's because the majority of the bricks that I have are being produced down in the cave layer. That's why. Okay. Alright, well, let's go ahead and just resume now and let things run for a little bit, because we've basically done what we needed to done. What we needed to done, seriously? God, clearly I've been playing for too long, or just been awake for too long today, because my brain is no longer functioning, which is not surprising in any way. Oh God, it's a lot of my miasma that's kind of spreading everywhere. Apparently, I also no longer have anyone set up to be wood choppers, because nobody's actually bothered to do that. Oh, it's because only 2 people are set up to be woodcutters, I see. Well, 2 new people, congratulations. Go cut some wood. Go chop wood. Let's also go down here as well. Oh, still? God, these guys are endless. I swear. You know what? At this point, I'm like, enough's enough with you. Hurry up and reload that cage trap so I can close this off. Child. You should not be here. I am literally trying to close this door. Oh, whatever. I give up with you. So, I'm just going to get this dug up. Let me actually go ahead and designate this as well to be smoothed. And we're going to engrave ourselves some fortifications in here so we can send our archers down here to pepper any of the appalling creatures that are infesting the Underdark here. Still dumping stuff there. Alright, let's scroll on up. How are we doing here? we are, let me scroll out, completely done. Nice! 100% completion on at least the structure. Now we just need to get the roof basically completed for the majority of this, and we can essentially designate all the rooms in there and be golden. Let me go ahead and quickly pull up. What are we at? We're already at 3 hours, so I'll probably do another about 20-30 minutes, and that'll be good enough. Layer 10. Here we go. So... pause here for a hot second. So there's 2. So right here is where the main entrance starts for our nobles' quarters. Or not nobles' quarters. Something dark side. Something dark side. Is that accurate? Yes, it is. Except... go like this. And then that stretches basically all the way to the end of what would be the nobles' quarters here. I'm not going to bother with that right now because we still need to finish completely getting them. So the next time around, what I'm definitely going to focus on is getting the getting all of this area kind of filled up, so that all of the bed chambers underneath, as a priority, we'll get this filled up, so that all the bed chambers underneath here can actually be properly filled in completely and designated as bedrooms. And, God, my stomach is killing me, apparently. Something dark side. Once this has been finished off, we can work on getting the last of the nobles' quarters built, of which there is, like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4... So basically 9 more nobles' quarters that need to be built, which will be reserved for all of our, like, high-end, either military dwarves for their noble accomplishments or whatever the case might be, or any other nobles that we might get that are underneath the king/queen level. Nuka Citrus has once more been re-elected to the position of mayor. But yeah. Either way, though, let me actually move this down chair, as I'm currently running over a cord, which is less than ideal. How are we doing down here, too? Everyone appears to be working at maximum speed here, producing blocks. Let's actually go ahead and... let's go even crazier. We're just going to slap down a whole bunch more workshops. Oh, they're already invading here again. All forces to the cave. All forces to the cave. These have already been smoothed. So let's go ahead and engrave fortifications here. It's like all military personnel to the cave. Children, stop running into the cave. Oh well. That child's about to learn why you shouldn't be playing with amphibians. Pull the lever now, please. Oh, why are you going in there? You probably don't want to be doing that right now. He is still running forward even though he has the cancel job. Silly persons. How many more of you are going to go suicide yourselves here? You know what? I've had enough. Everything in that area is now forbidden. Stay the hell out. Next time we close this, yeah, it's closed now. It's staying closed. Oh well. We got a knoll, mistem. We got Tabul. And then we've got... you, my friend. And we might as well add S to the mix here. Well, apparently they don't, I can't engrave anything to them, unfortunately. That is what it is. Oh, look, they've been found dead. What a shame. Yeah, I'm leaving this locked down. I'm not... I will maybe move these guys down here and keep them down here simply so that they can just shoot out now at them. Well, we're not opening up this cave again. I'm not having it with them. Oh, well, we'll see if they start opening fire or not. Oh, well. I guess we're going to have a lot of tombs to build next time, then. Oh, well. Alright, let's go ahead and get this kind of designated out here. Okay, and then likewise, we'll get this one going here. Should be 5 blocks. Oh, no access. Figured. And then go ahead and cancel the mids. All right. And resume. Actually, technically this part's already done, so I had less to build than I thought, even. Because this is already the extent of it. It's only supposed to be kind of 2 away from the stairs. So once we get this side done and this kind of corner... So I'm only missing 5 bedrooms, actually, up here. 5 noble quarter bedrooms. So we're not doing nearly as bad as I thought for that. So we should be able to get that done pretty quick. But of course, we still have to roof these in as well. To completely seal this off, this entire section is still going to have to, once we get all this built, still have to be roofed off. Oh boy. I swear. Sometimes these dwarves drive me crazy. Alright, let me actually move you guys. Let's have you go over here. Because that'll give you a better angle to shoot at anything that might be offending the fort here currently. Because I can see those suckers down there. And actually what I might do as well... is I'll dig out sections right here where they can engage them down below as well. It also looks like my miners are not super busy right now. So let's see about changing that. Good. All right. Interesting. For a moment I was worried that they had a way in, but I guess not. Oh. I see. Another one of the children got stuck in there, apparently. Toulon Kreuzstab. I swear. Okay, we're good. So that's all of their tombs, well, all of their tombstones engraved, for they do not deserve an actual tomb. Constantly running down there and getting into fights that I didn't want them to be in. I like how they even gave up their like whatever mission they had in the cave, and yet they still charged towards the enemy. That's kind of funny. Actually, let's go ahead and block this off as well from view, because we don't want our dwarves seeing anything through here and stopping what they should be doing right now, work-wise. Alright, let's get you boys back training, and this should be good enough for now. How are we doing here? A lot of stuff has been hauled. Okay, let's stop for now. We'll let them keep hauling this stuff in there, and then I'm gonna... you know what? We can always do another round. It's not like the end of the world, so let's cancel this for now. Now let's temporarily create this as a restricted area. Still kind of going towards it. I want to make sure that nobody else is kind of going towards this area. Looks like there was still a couple of them who have, like, I guess, ongoing jobs to dump something here. Okay. I think that's it. Somebody pull this lever now. Oh, wait, cancel that. Is there still... Actually, you know what? Just to make sure that this isn't going to be a situation where people get screwed, per se, here's what we're going to do. We're going to wall this in very quickly. We're going to put a door on here. And then I'm going to forbid entrance so that they're not just going to have dwarves randomly walking in here and getting killed. That's the surest way to make sure that nobody's going to die. Let's go ahead and clear this up here. And actually, let me have you guys go ahead and defend the shooting range. If you are so inclined. Oh. The glassmaker has been taken by a Fey Mood. Nice. I do love my Fey Moods. Hopefully somebody comes build this door quickly so that I can forbid this sucker. There's some tetrahedrite in here. I see. So they also moved some random ores in there, which is kind of annoying. Come on, build that door. Build that door, please. That's another thing I wish I had the ability to do, is priority build a certain object. Like if I desperately need a gate to be built immediately or something. Please leave. Forbidden. Pull the lever. Okay. Let's watch this guy go smash. Then pull the lever again immediately after. So somebody is on the way to pull this lever. And there we go. Boom. Unfortunately, it didn't extend the whole length, but that's fine. And then up it goes, and ta-da! Everything is gone. We might have regained like 1 FPS if we're lucky. Get all these guys dumped out of here. Alright. They're able to go in. Excellent. He has already begun his mysterious construction. Very nice. Oh, I see, yes. Let's go ahead and build some doors. And there we go. We'll engrave those so that we can access that. And open fire on anything that might be annoying the hell out of us. Okay, let's go up top here now. How goes the Colossi shooting range? Pretty good. I think if anything, we might just be low on ammo. Let me take a look here. Oh yeah, we are definitely low on ammo. That being the case, you guys are off duty for a while. Let's actually take a look at you guys too. Talented Marksdwarf. Yeah, you're the one I should really be checking. Proficient Marksdwarf. Legendary Marksdwarf. There we go. Talented Grandmaster Marksdwarf. So quite a few of them have gotten up to that level, which is good. What the hell is Dwarven cheese? Oh god. I think, what was that actually made out of? I think it was like a... Name, Dwarven cheese, price 20. Is made from dwarven milk. It is an extract obtained from having a milker milk a purring maggot. I haven't actually seen a purring maggot in a long time. Ah, I see, that's why. So it's a type of vermin in a cave layer. So what you can do is, if you have the vermin trapper workshop, basically capture using the little animal traps, capture vermin. There's a chance you could get a purring maggot, and you could basically take the milk from that and turn it into, like what I have right here. I have purring maggot leather leggings. So the same thing that gave me the leather for those leggings could also give me quote unquote dwarven milk. Because they don't milk cows, they milk purring maggots. I choose not to question it. Boy, do I ever choose not to question it. Alright. Regardless, though, I would say we've done pretty well here for today. We managed to get all of what I mostly wanted kind of done. You gonna say it's inaccessible? I figure as much. Select material. Yeah, build it out of that. Once they get that floor in, then I'll actually be able to get at it. Likewise, let's get this kind of floored in. So we have 130, already have 138 blocks to build with here, basically. Excellent. And, oh, he created a green glass bracelet. Offers it to the Tomb of Gladness. Okay, I'll take a look at that in a second. I'm honestly kind of surprised the majority of this stuff has been accessible. I fully expected it to not be. Let's take a look at what he made. We have so many artifacts in the fort, damn. The Howls of Emptying. A green glass bracelet, all craft store ships of the highest quality, as always. Decorated with browned, brilliant cut green glass gems, encircled with bands of oval cut green glass gems. It menaces with spikes of green glass and pig iron. On the item is an image of a cushion cut gem in siltstone, and a image of an ocelot man in pig iron. Interesting. I remember, wasn't there also a what's it called? A utility that allowed you to basically generate an image of artifact, like a rough image of artifacts or something? I could swear there was something like that at some point. I can't 100% remember, though. Oh, damn. Alright. But honestly, this should be good enough as is, since I do have to get some cooking done here shortly. Go. Let's go ahead and fill in the corners here quickly. At least the ones I can actually access. And of course now I'm being pinged. Alright. Ooh, they did finish that up, so... Boom. And then we'll get the rest of this all floored in when I can. But for now, that should be good enough for today, honestly. We've accomplished quite a bit. Oh, crack, crack, crack. Oh, that was a good crack in the neck. Alright. Yeah, we accomplished quite a bit. We completely finished all the regular living quarters, at least for their layouts, per se. We still have to get them roofed in, which will allow us to start building all of the actual furniture. We could technically still build the cabinets and chests, which I probably will do later. And I might even, like, get armor and weapon stands to throw in every single room as well. Or I might even build, like, like a whole bunch of dwarven statues or something and just get that kind of placed in each of their rooms or something along those lines. Either way, we'll do something interesting with it. Regardless, though, or maybe I'll give every single, like, I'll redesignate every single one of the rooms and give them all their own individual, like, dining rooms or something in there. But regardless, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Have yourselves a fantastic evening. And I will see you all next time, which will be tomorrow. Till then, have a great one, everybody.